Mas Adrian, selamat siang Mas.
Siapa?
Maaf nih, belum mulai sih, cuman tolong di reminder teman-temannya ya, jam 1 kita mulai. Kalau bisa ngundang teman-teman 66A juga dipersilakan untuk hadir. Ya Mas?
Baik,
Oke,
Pak.
makasih Mas Adrian. Silakan di close lagi. Mungkin makan siangnya belum selesai tadi. Ya, thank you. Welcome,
Oh,
Pak
yes.
Hasan.
Good day. How are you, everybody?
Oh, fine, thanks, Prof.
Oh, that's
Hasan.
nice. I think we hope that we
Nice to meet
have
you.
a good communication link today, yeah?
Yes.
Because sometimes there is problem with the with the operators here in Bogor.
Yeah, we know that, Pak. Well, Prof. Hasan,
Okay.
thank you very much, first of all, for your time and willingness
Most welcome
sharing
indeed. Yes. Okay.
in our MBA program. Okay, Pak
Thanks very
Hasan, can
much. Yes.
we start our
Excuse me.
discussion? Can we start?
Yes,
I
indeed.
will
Because
open.
we are at 1 o'clock already.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much once again, and good day, everyone. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today,
Waalaikumsalam.
we have an honor from Professor Hasan Fauzi.
Fauzi
He
Hasan.
is Fauzi, sorry, Fauzi Hasan. He is the president of American Academy Project Management for Indonesian chapter. Today, he will deliver and sharing about knowledge and also sharing session about his expertise in the worldwide recognition in terms of international certification. And also we will have Pak Warman from SBKI as the Indonesian partner from AAPM, yeah. Professor Hasan, yeah, has many experiences and certifications in national and also international level.
That's
So,
because I'm old, maybe.
yeah.
Because I'm old, yeah.
No, Pak, you are senior, not old. We don't recognize about old story, but we really hope you are willing to share the knowledge about the why we need the competence for people and job
Indeed, yes.
competencies, because some of our MBA students, they are fresh graduate, and some of them are working in companies less than 5 years
Very good.
working experience. That's why we need your share about international certification and what how to say, what's the benefit? Yeah, what the
Okay.
advantage if we
Yes.
have international certification? Prof.
We hope.
Hasan,
Yes, indeed.
split your
Thank you.
time, Pak, until
Okay.
4:15. You may split your time with presentation, question and answer, discussion, and also you might assign, yeah, the students to
Of course.
provide his or her opinion or idea, and also providing questions maybe from your side, Pak.
Yes.
I'm be ready for you, Pak.
Yes, thank you very much indeed, Mr. Hari Febriansa. Yes. And especially for the invitation that you conveyed to us, especially for I myself, and also for the Academy, the American Academy. Well, indeed, as what you have introduced to the audience, to the members of your team here. My name is Fauzi Hasan. I'm now residing, or my office is in IPB Bogor, yeah? And we have the office here at IPB, and we are governing the Asia Pacific. So I'm responsible for Asia Pacific certification program under the International Board of Standards and the 3 institutions that support the board. The first one is called American Academy of Project Management. The second one is the American Academy of Financial Management, and the third one is the Global Academy of Financial Management. Well, I'm going to explain and describe about those institutions, but firstly we shall proceed with some issues that might relate to the certification, professional certification in the book, which is at this time becoming so essential for the professional? Well, thank you very much indeed for the opportunity for me to convey and share about certification and also my experience. Maybe that can stimulate some ideas or opinions that we can share in this forum. Please not be hesitant to interrupt if you have any questions, inquiries, or clarification of what I'm explaining. I'm not really teaching, but I'm just sharing here. Most of you may be experienced guys, but we need to share to enhance our knowledge and insights. Okay, well, I'm also going to share with you on the videos on American Academy and also some case studies that we might explore, and hoping that the values that revealed by that case studies, if you have from your experience and inquiries that I might going to share and share with you in order to find the solutions. Well, thanks very much indeed for providing the session. Okay. Well, today, I should say, and call you all, ladies and gentlemen. So that will be, giving a warmth sense on you and appreciation from I myself. Well, the topics, I hope this topic will be very useful and impressive and will take a further assessment and exploration in your career. This is about work and competencies. You might share also this presentation later after the completion of this presentation of the session. I'm a professor in project management. That's my background. I'm also doctors in IT and finance. I took 4 PhD programs 4 times, but I completed only 2 of those programs. I'm doing consultancy in IT, finance, project management, and I've been working for multinational companies in most of the continents in the world. Well, let's go back and then let's focus on what is a job actually. Mostly of us, we go to universities or an institution, especially to find something which might escalate our values, the values. Well, okay, I might write it as values. I hope that, the values. So these values might generate something in ourselves that we shall be assessed differently by the market, by the job market especially. We don't go to universities or any institution that might escalate or escalate our competencies or proficiency without any reasons. We go there especially to have better opportunities in the future. I hope that you will agree with this. That's why you go to Sekolah Management Business, because that will create a better spectrum for your career in the future. So a career is one of the most important that will define your future. Well, indeed. So what is a job career actually? Well, I know and I do understand that most of you have certain reasons why you have a career. I think you can answer by yourself. You have defined the career. Well, if I may so, because I'm older than you in terms of age, so it is very important at this time that anybody is to define and determine what career should be pursued in his life. if you become so precarious in defining and doing the careers, then I'm sorry, the values will be not maximum that will create yourself to become somebody different in the market, professional market. So there are many, that will be the main reason why you have to possess and define, or even the right word is designing your career. So many reasons, which is very individual, and that become the personal's commitment that for developing and designing your own careers. Well, basically, so a career entails with work. I mean, you do in the office, in a company, so that's a work. And that work will generate income, something that might be coming up from a work. That's a remuneration. We come to an institution or any company or any business entity and spend our life for certain hours, especially to gain something which is called income. And this income will suffice the needs that we have in our life. Imagine if we don't have income, how could you spend the life? How could you proceed with this life? And I'm sorry, maybe to support your daily lives, or even especially to pay your tuition or fees at your school now. So basically, man or human or people needs a kind of source of income, and that might be realized or manifested in the area or in the position where he works. So, well, basically, the work itself will give identity, because, well, for those ladies and gentlemen who are now working for certain institutions or companies and rolling as somebody with special responsibilities, exactly, there will be an identity come up from the way that we do the job and the responsibility that we take on. So this identity reflects for the way of how you define yourself. Well, to be honest, the pride is there because you see yourself. If you're a director and the company is not belong to you, so the directorship position is a kind of trust. And that denotes how important you are. And also, this relates to the values that you have or entail to yourself, which represented by the responsibilities that the job you are doing currently. And then also this will have a certain perception by your environment, especially your job environment, your colleagues. If you're a boss in your company, then the subordinate will have a certain perception regarding your role in your company. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so the job is a part of identity. I hope you do realize it. Well, when I was in the age of 20s, I was a bit selective in taking a job. At that time, I graduated from IT faculty. And at that time, the scarcity value of an IT professional is high. So I do become so selective in choosing the employer. Well, not like this time. Like, well, if at this time, people can be choosy in finding the job, but it depends on the scarcity value that he has got or she has got. There are ample of graduates, but the values is mostly not too high. You can be selective if you get or you have high value compared to the others. So back to the job itself, the jobs reflect the identity. You should be conscious on this. Well, if this statement that the job reflect the identity, so in designing your career in the future, so this will be the ingredient within the model or process of gaining or obtaining the career in the future. Well, the work, if you are a director, and then your business role will be very eminent. You'll be at a certain level with the other business partners. So then this will be very influential in the way of how you generate the business, because you do have the channel of communication with other high-ranking officers, yeah, or maybe high-ranking roles in the other business entities. So that will reflect and indirectly will give impact on your lifestyle. If you are a directors or president directors, for example, or even a senior managers will have a strong business political impact to your organization, so you will do and have what I call it colloquial society with those at the same level of your position, and your lifestyle will be different. Maybe you will do playing golf, yeah, and that will be one of your lifestyle. So this lifestyle demands for certain kind of expenditures, and that will be paid by something that you gain from your work. Because I'm sorry to say, if you do play golf, it costs for something. Yeah? Or maybe you need to have a meeting at the high perceived rendezvous, something like that. Yeah. So then it costs for something, and that will be will be supported by your work. So lifestyle will have will be influenced by your position, and that will also be influenced by your income. I think you can, that is, logical. For example, a president director with a certain amount of income will do frequentive international traveling or doing the certain lifestyle, which is quite different for the staff. Yeah. And then, as I mentioned previously, that job, which denote a career, will give a certain satisfaction. Sometimes people do not pursue for only money and revenue, but also they pursue for satisfaction. To be honest, I'm not pursuing mundane things, what the English say, for doing lecturing, but I have a strong appetite to do lecturing. Yeah, so that's my background. Why I become so appetitious to do lecturing? that's one part of the satisfaction, the way how I get satisfaction from my work. Well, the income that people gains or obtains, yeah, that will have impact on the system of economy. Yeah, you can imagine if most of the nation, which is the group of laborers, potential laborers in this case, the working people class, or the working people potential, or they are unemployed. So that will have impact on the dynamism of the economy. Yeah. So the intensity or the numbers of the people that works in one country will have a certain impact on the economy. Macro, as we know, that to assess the macroeconomy performance, in this case, one of the parameters is the employment level. So how many of the people which is not unemployed compared to the potential numbers of people who should be working in one society. Well, ladies and gentlemen, so if people are working, more people are working in one country, that means the economy is getting healthier. So implicatively, that we can say that working opportunity, the availability of the works will have a certain impact on the health of the economy. So, well, that will reflect the dynamism, the growth, and the interaction of people with the industry. So this creates what we call a balanced economy. People work to deliver service and they consume from labor. They consume for the product. Yeah. So I think this is a generic scheme within the economic system. But works, or how we can get or obtain works for a person, demands for a certain criteria of know-how. Well, we usually define this know-how as skill and competencies. Poverty, which is rampant in the developing countries, mostly rooted to the cause of lack of skills, of know-how, which become the root of poverty in most developing countries. I hope that you'll agree with this. That's why President Jokowi is very strongly determined to escalate the competency of the Indonesian people, especially the workforce, to escalate and enhance their spectrum of skills so they can cope with the local challenges or the global challenges, as we are going to discuss it later in the next phase of my lecture. So this skills and abilities becoming the foundation, that becoming the values of any institution or any business entity to grow and to generate revenue. And this comes not only comes from the commodities that they exploit, but also mostly from the capabilities of the human resource they have. So human resource in whatever scope of entity becoming the most essential value generator for the entities. So we find the term now as value generator. The question is, let's we ask ourselves, are we becoming the value generator to the entity that we work? I hope you can answer for yourself. And you can discuss it with me, sir, or ladies and gentlemen, about it. Okay, so the know-how. So what is the know-how? Because the know-how mostly becoming, as I mentioned previously, the fundamentals, the fundamental values for an entity, yeah, which comes from something called basic skills. The basic skills. I'm not a psychologist, but I try to induce my thought to the perspective in psychology. So the basic skills, well, and your organization might define what really basic skills. And also the thinking skills, which is more on cognitive capabilities, which is a bit different from the basic skills that we use, define it and put it into something called psychomotoric capabilities. So we have two types of capabilities, that is psychomotoric, yeah, psychomotoric, and then cognitive, and then also the attitude of the person. So this becoming the triangular foundation for workers. Well, as we proceed, so the basic skills is something more on developing capabilities and communicating, like reading, writing, doing simple arithmetic, yeah, and then communication, while also with the combined or accentuated with the capabilities to listen and digest and also infer from what being listened, yeah, and also proceeded with the thinking skills, with the capability of rationalizing something, and then proceeded by doing or making decisions, solving problem. And then a person might have ideas from receiving input from his communication with others, yeah, or with his boss. This will be based also on capabilities and synthesizing the inputs and developing or applying the models, what I call it cognitive models. And then the personal qualities. These personal qualities is mostly related to the attitude of somebody. I'm going to discuss it later when I'm describing on the aspect of competency. There are three aspects of competencies that is differentiated into some areas of skills that somebody should have, and also the attitude that reflect the way of a person doing the job or interacting with the environment or business environment. So skills in this age is a must. We see some graduates still becoming unemployed. This is quite saddening. Why? You know, somebody is potential to obtain a job is basically because he's more valuable compared to the other candidate. In science, we call it axiom. If this, you cannot defy this axiom. Like, and I'm saying 2 + 2 = 4. This is an axiom. Yeah, axiom. We have lemma, I like mathematics, so that's I use the word lemma. So we have axioma, yeah? Axioma, yeah, axioma. So a skill is a prerequisite that should be linked to the profession and values that will be delivered by the worker or any employer. So inferentially, we can say that skills generate effectiveness and success. I hope you will agree with me. If you agree with me, I'm opening a discussion now that you might describe this about the relation of skill, effectiveness that will generate effectiveness. Business-wise, this will also generate a situation called efficiency in the industry. I'm also lecturing on operation management and production. The skills is one part, how you build competitiveness in the market by reaching a better efficiency in your cost of goods sold or production process. So in this millennium era, what industry demand is for skillful and certified employee, yeah, or certified professional. Later we can discuss why do we need a certified professional. Okay, so the competencies in this case that is becoming the one of the demanded characteristic of employees. This will have impact upon the usage of the company's resources or even individual resources. And that will also develop better interpersonal relation because the individual has got a kind of, capabilities in the interpersonal skills. There's good communication, and this will develop the ambience, a better ambience of the working environment. Yeah, maybe we have in our offices people with PhD degrees, yeah, of high educated employees, but this environment might not be very lucrative for the business or will not make the employees feel convenient. Why? It's a matter of environment communication distortion, which one of the roots comes from the communication and profile, yeah, which are impregnated by the way how the employees interact in doing or pursuing for something the objective of the company. Ladies and gentlemen, students, yeah, of the postgraduate. So what really have significant impact on the competencies, especially in the workplace? The first one is information. So information, as you might know, and this is becoming a common issue, that information is an entity which is used to have or to do better understanding about a certain phenomena, whether that's business phenomena or technical phenomena. And secondly, the systems. The systems which might be something tangible or intangible in the organization, and that create or generate the impact of how to obtain the solution effectively and efficiently. Well, those all is supported by something which is called technology as an enabler. Yeah, this is one of the elements within the organization, especially used to support in the pursuance of the objective. Well, students of the postgraduate, I should be very grateful if you may convey your questions before I proceed with the next issues, please. You can use a simple word, so that will be very communicative. Please, I should be very grateful for this. That will show the seriousness of the
There is a student, but Anissa has raised hand.
Yes, please.
Yes, sir. I have one question.
Yes, please.
Your presentation on competencies is very great, and I'm curious about workplace competencies because, like here, from your explanation, that workplace competencies are really important, but
indeed,
yeah, but that's not what happened in my company. I mean, I'm a worker. I'm conducting this MBA because the management want to build that awareness of competencies. So the question is how I can buy in from the management.
Yes.
This is important, you know, like your presentation, and so I can implement it and provoke it. So what's the great strategy to, yeah.
Okay. So, I'm sorry, could you?
Okay, so my question is, what's the best strategy to ensure, to provoke that these workplace competencies are pretty much important? So, for example, to increase the profit of the company. So, I can say to my company that you should.
That's right. I understand. I can now. I can get what what is the gist of your questions. Well, indeed, this is a matter of how you persuade your management, because the management should have a commitment, to implement or to achieve an environment which is productive, because this will have also impact to the achievement of the objective. The way of how you can convince them in this case is, so you may explain to the top management, especially maybe your directors in this case, or president, prepare a presentation regarding the required workplace in your organization. But that should be, should be initiated with an exposition regarding the deficiencies that you identify at this time. What the environment deficiencies that are rooted with the competencies, which is, residing at the personality of the employees. So the workplace competencies is an aggregation, as I mentioned previously, comprises of technology, system, and the first one is about the skills. So what you have to convey to your management is also a program. But in this case, in your what I call it as a persuasive discussion or explanation with your management, you must also expose about the deficiencies that currently happening, yeah, in your workplace environment, and also the impact. So by then, you can also propose to the management about the ways how to eradicate this kind of deficiencies. Can you grab that? I hope that is clear.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you need to expose the current situation and then the profile of the current situation, and then a solution, prepare solution from yourself, including the program, how to improve the situation, but with a focus on how to escalate the competencies of the employees in this case, because that will have to impact. The first impact to the employees and also to the management, because management is not always right. Because management exercise the leadership. If they got deficiencies, that will have bad impact with the multiplying effect, which is getting worse rather than it happens at the employee level. I think you can grab that. Okay? So that's my answer.
Okay,
I hope you can make that program. Anytime you can contact me, Bunit. That's Rupa Hari, maybe.
Yeah, we'll do. Thank
Pak.
you.
Yes, you can get my phone from Mr. Hari.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Mbak
Any
Anissa?
other questions? Yes.
Yeah, another question? Or maybe other friend? Mas Darius, please.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. Well, I have my question probably like the same, but I want to ask about the identity aspect. Is the identity aspect is the same as sense of belonging? Because in my experience in my workplace, we as an employee doesn't have like any drive for the sense of belonging. So we don't like any improvement. We just want to work as to get a just income. But in my opinion, I feel like we need to drive it to become much more competencies, to give much more improve. So is there any solution to give the employee to have a sense of belonging for the company?
Right. Well, financially, if we, well, this is the end solution. Is financial. You must have the part of the shares of your company. Yeah. So the drive will be there. That's financially and politically, but that is all not always the practical solution because of some political reasons. Yeah. But what we have to develop in this situation is, again, it goes back to the management. How they breeze up the wind of productivity and sense of belonging. Yeah, I know myself, as I mentioned, as I explained to you previously, that an individual will work for personal objective, right? While you can complete the job requirement, that's okay. You will get your compensation, you will get your remuneration, okay? But the problem is how to build the sense of belonging to the company. So that's become the responsibility of your management. But okay, you have a good sense. In English, we call it sense of commitment to the organization. That kind of consciousness comes from somebody which is higher than the level of being somebody who just want to deliver as expected. Yeah, I'm going to show something in my writing in the board. Let me draw it like this. If this is the range of values, sorry, maybe I will use it by using a graph. This is the time. This is the value generated by an employee. This is the standard, yeah, the standard, okay. This is the standard value. Standard value. If you don't achieve this value as an employee, then your supervisor, your manager will complain at you. And then you will have reprimand. Reprimand, I mean, a rascal word will be for penalty. But if you achieve this, you will get the standard remuneration. Yeah. But as somebody professional, you would like to increase this. I'm using the red color. Yeah, you will increase this. This curve comes, comes from the way how you perceive about the organization. You want to deliver something more. Let's say you have V1. So V1 is greater than V0. Value you will develop. So if you have better value, then the impact will be for, again, the appreciation of the organization on your position. Okay? And then maybe there is a room for having the opportunity to get the shares. But this, to escalate from V0 to V1 demands from some aspect, especially the commitment. The first one, commitment, self-commitment, and the second is management commitment. Okay, that's my question. I think you can rephrase it and describe more in the program how you escalate the curve. Okay, any questions? That's my,
thank you.
Yes, Mr. Darius. Yeah, okay. Your name reminds me when I'm in the age of Thesaurus or Democritus. Good name, yeah?
Okay, Pak.
Go back to Greece, yes. Okay, thank you in this case. Yeah. Any questions? Please not be hesitant to spit out what in your mind. Yeah. Okay. If you don't have any questions further, I shall proceed with the next topic. Well, so a person who is competent is somebody who has the ability to respond accurately and appropriately. Yeah. Let's say if an engineer who has a vast experience and competencies, so when problems comes regarding the technical matters, then he will have some solutions, ways of solutions. So this means a competent worker is a worker with a large spectrum of competencies. I'm asking you now, it's a chance for me to ask you as a scholar or intellectual in this case. The way how to build these competencies. Please respond to my questions. How to build or becoming a competent worker in this case. I think you can induce your thought based on simple rationalization.
Excuse me, Mr. Fauzi, can I answer it?
Yes, Miss Puspa, yeah? Mrs. or Miss? I'm sorry.
Miss.
Miss, yeah, okay. I'm also a bachelor. Yes, please proceed. Yeah.
Okay, I will try to answer the question. Maybe how we build our competency is first, we try to get a certification in our specialty. I guess, like you said before.
Okay. Well, that's that will be a later answer actually. But could you have some other reasoning for that? I mean, the ways how to become a competent worker, because certification is an indicator of standardized capabilities or competency for an individual, yeah, or professional. But how to develop that kind of competent person, competent employee? Please.
Maybe we can learn by our mistake and our journey of.
Let's you imagine in an organization, not individually. How an organization could develop a competent worker? Please. Any contributor? Yes, please.
Maybe we can set a goal for a task, and maybe if a worker achieves a certain goal, we can give some kind of rewards to them.
Yeah, okay. So what will be the program to achieve that level?
Just
Yes, please.
I just want to add on maybe what Tiara said, that it's
Mr.
true that
Wandi,
we
yeah.
can, yes, sir.
Mr. Wandi.
And maybe we can provide training or maybe.
Okay, that's very good, Mr. Wandi.
Yeah, some part of seminar.
Oh, okay. What will be the most practical way for an employee or worker to gain enhancement that relate to better competency? Please. Are you a worker now, Mr. Wandi?
Yes, I'm a worker.
Where are you working now, Mr. Wandi?
I'm working at the civil engineering consultant.
Oh, that's very good.
Yes.
So I think that will be liable. And please answer my questions. What will be the most practical way to develop competencies for an employee in an organization?
Okay, in my own opinion,
indeed
as an employee,
it is.
I think the first step that we need to take before going into the company, of course, is our self-development, like which I mean in the formal education. We need to take, of course, formal education background before we go to the company. But inside the company, in a short term, we may improve our own competencies by going through seminar or training or some kind of development.
Yeah, but that is called stay. Okay, that's the way, one of the ways. So if we consider the budget of the organization to build a competent person, is to plunk them into the project, sir. Yeah? That's the most practical. Plunk them into, that means involve them in particular project. I've been in so many deserts in the world. I've been in Africa. I've been in America, Australia with some project with Ericsson, with Warner Lambert in the United States, in Australia. They plunk me into the project. I've been in Dubai, in the Negev Desert, to erect some of the BTS of Ericsson. Actually, I'm an engineer, and to be honest, they plunk me in those projects because they will say, hey, Fauzi, you did shape up with this project. So they will say, hi, Mr. Wandi, we bring you to this desert or to the jungle for this project because you will gain something which is not in the universities. To be honest, I'm a lecturer, but I'm 40 years in the field. I'm different from those lecturers who have never been in the field. If they write a book, what they do, they write. If they become doctors, then that's based on the book. The research will be quite different for those who have been a real practitioner than who are book thinking. I've been doing a lot of examination for doctors, professors, for certification, but again, I got some deficiencies when we discuss about real practice in the field. So what are required by a professional, not only theoretical, but also practical exposures? Please comment if you don't agree with me. Do you agree, Mr. Wandi?
Yes, sir.
You can add up something from what I've said. Please add up if you want.
From my opinion, as an engineer myself, theoretical is important, but more important is how we implement it to the real life situation.
Indeed.
Mean that our knowledge is being used correctly.
Yes, as I mentioned to you, most of the expatriate, they become more favorable because of what? Not because of the theory, but also their practical capabilities, which is one of the competencies. That's why they become appreciated more than the local guys. Do you agree with that? You can go to all over the world if you have competencies and skills. If you talk about theory, thousands of American, thousands of European, thousands of Chinese, they talk about theories. But if you talk about something different, the skill, the competencies that they don't have, they will look up at you. Okay? So the schools provide the area spectrum that we can do it cognitively. But what are required as an engineer, for example, is the way how you do practicality in the field. Yeah? So that's the most important. That will generate appreciation. It will generate merit. It will generate values for you and how the company will remunerate based on, and then money again, right? So after money, what? What you will get after you have money? You have what I call in English as commensurate remuneration. What you will get after that?
Happiness, Prof. Hasan.
Okay. Happiness later, but what I call it prosperity. Yeah? That's a concept in economy that someone will get when someone gets better income, that will lead to the prosperity. Yeah, that's will be the word. Prosperity. That we are chasing in this life. Do you agree with me that you are chasing prosperity? Yeah. If you don't do it, you come to this school, if you don't have that objective, better you get out from tomorrow. You waste your time. I will get prosperity through what? How I can get prosperity in my life? Through competency, a competent person in my profession. Mr. Hafiza Ridal, it seems that it is, absorbing something from what I said. Do you agree that, Mr. Hafiza?
Yes, completely, Crystal, Mr. Hasan.
Any comment on that?
Yeah, because I personally work as project-based design, interior design.
Oh, that's very good.
Yeah, so it is so relate with my work life. Then when we more experience in our field, so we get more like a skill that we evolve.
Yes,
especially in my
absolutely
work of field. Yes,
correct.
I completely agree with you. Thank you.
Yes, if you don't agree, it's no problem. But logic,
For now, I completely agree for now.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. Mr. Hari, I hope that this session is recorded, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very good.
Fully recording for each
Yes.
course, Pak. Don't worry, I will share via Pak Warman, yeah.
Okay, you can share directly to me, no problem. Okay, let's proceed with my presentation, yeah? Ladies and gentlemen. With that, we go back on an environment, an organization environment by which development or training, yeah, are performed because they will build valuable human capital. So this is a matter of asset of the company. People are asset of the company. I'm going to explain about how these are related to the organization value. So an environment which have the characteristic of having transferable skills, are an organization which develops the skills for the employee, and it generates the impact that the skills becoming something which will boost up the value of the employee. Well, let's go back to the simple graph that I wrote just now. So this value, ladies and gentlemen, so the inclination of the inclination of this curve, yeah, is based on some activities. Let's say we have alpha 1, alpha 2, yeah? Well, alpha 1 to alpha n, comprising of the spectrum of skills escalation. So this is basically programs. Programs that those are executed, for developing the value of the employee. Yeah, so basically, so the booster is something that shift up of this value, yeah, shift up process is based on not only skills development, but if I may ask you, what are the other components of this that shift up the value through the called transferable skills workplace? I need your contribution for those shift up factors. Maybe Ibu Raden Dewi, yeah, Miss Raden Dewi, yeah. I hope that will contribute something for this session.
Yes.
Yes. You speak in English or in Sundanese?
In English, of course.
Yeah, bagus ya.
Sorry, Mr. Fauzi, can you
The question
repeat
is, what will be the activities, not only the skills, but what other entities that might escalate, shift up this curve? This is a curve, I draw it just now, that relate to the value escalation of any employee in one company. I hope you have an understanding or perception on this graph. What? Not only training.
maybe give another certification to the employee in the company.
Oh, you always go to certification. Okay, that's right. So what else?
May I, sir?
Yes. Okay, let's finish Mbak Raden ya. Ibu Raden, and
Thank
then we
you,
go
sir.
back to Mr. Aska.
Yes.
Will you finish? Yes.
Yes, finish.
What are else?
Maybe Mr. Aska will continue my answer.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, Mr. Aska.
In my opinion, maybe by completing some projects, sir, because it also increased the experience of the worker.
Okay. Again, please reassert what you said. Reassert. Tell me again.
Completing some projects, sir.
Okay, very good. I like that way. I like that way. Yes, very good.
Increase the experience of the worker.
Very good. Yes, that's the most valuable thing. Very good. And the impact is that this employee becoming, precious asset for the company. Do you agree with me, Mr. Aska?
Yes, sir.
That's right, because he got an ample experience of situation and project, for the solution. Okay, this is one of the essential ingredient in developing competent employee. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, do you have other opinions regarding this issue? Please. I'm getting so hilarious here and motivated. I don't know why. I hope that everybody also have the, sense of the same sense in this session. Okay, if you don't have any opinions, well, I proceed with the next issue. So, transferable skill. Well, I have a question again for you, ladies and gentlemen. Please conceive this and then give me reasons if you choose one of the options of these questions. The first question is something I call as a points to ponder. In English, points to ponder means that if you accept something and then you try to digest it and you will consider for a certain situation. Well, this is on organizational situation. The question is, which of the following is the most important asset to an organization? A, well-defined policies and standard. B, state-of-the-art laboratory equipment, or I can say state-of-the-art of the organization. C, adequately trained staff, and none of the above. Anybody can be the contributor for this question? Please. Yes, Mr. Hafiza, yeah? Okay, Mr. Hafiza. Please.
Oh, Mr. Darius, sir. Yes.
Oh, Mr. Darius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
The name of a king.
Yes. In my opinion,
Yes, Mr. Darius.
I think
I like
in my
that.
opinion,
Yes,
the important asset is the adequately trained staff, because it is quite hard to get the trained staff, because
Yes.
I think between the defined policies and standard, we can make that by get the trained staff, and the state-of-the-art laboratory equipment. We can get that after we get a lot of revenue. So I think the most important is the staff.
Splendid, Mr. Darius. Well, I like that way of explanation, but I'm also questioning for others. So what will be the role if an organization has got a well-defined policies and standards? Anybody can assist me in defining this, please? Yes? Come on, you are a postgraduate student. You must have a diversified angles of perception regarding organization. Yeah? Okay, please. You will be boss or boss of the bosses. Boss of the bosses.
Maybe I want to add something.
Yes, Mr. Hafizal, please.
I wanted to respond that maybe.
Could you be louder, please?
Oh, sorry, sir. Maybe I try to say that I different view from Mr. Darius that the
Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
this is the bottom of democracy.
As you said that well-defined policies and standards before, so I think that's maybe it's important for in terms of asset organization because it defines, as you said before, that it defines the it defines the work. Work requires know-how. So
indeed, it is.
When the know-how is determined, so the workplace can be had the identity that's solid identity. So in matter of you have staff or trained staff or untrained staff, so at least if we have defined policies and standards, it will be a apa ya istilahnya setara tuh equal equal
in line. Yes. You have to pay me, you have to pay me 50,000 rupiah if I translate, I used to lecture in some international schools, yes. And then the students will be penalized 10,000 rupiah at that time. That's about 10 years ago, and I give you 50,000.
Wow.
No problem.
Sorry, sir.
Give it to Mr. Hari, yeah.
Sorry, sir. So that's my point, maybe, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks very much indeed. Well, that's a different angle or perspective regarding the asset of an organization. Mr. Hafiza, accentuated that policies and standard will be the most important asset to an organization. Well, anybody disagree or agree? Yes, please. I appreciate that. Who is that?
Anissa.
Yeah, Miss Anissa, please. Thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, it's quite confusing whether I will choose A or C.
Yeah.
But I think A will be better because in policies and standard of the organization, we can stipulate the work requirement, reward and punishments, policy and everything. So the employee will increase the performance and it will build the fairness and the certainty. So it's easy to find another employees that can require those standard and the policy rather than just pretending the educated trained staff as the asset, because staff can resign, staff can move or everything, but if you have asset as defined policy.
Well, indeed. Well, now I'm questioning all of you. So what is the function of policies and standard? That's the most important. I think you have went through the strategic management class. Have you done that about strategic management class? In the strategic management class, your professors or your lecturers will define about the function of policies and standard. Why do we need policy? Another question. If we try to ramify or to extend these questions, because it's becoming the subject of our discussion. I appreciate that. Why do we need policy, gentlemen and ladies?
May I add some question?
Yes, please.
Okay. May I?
Yes, Mr. Rehan.
Okay, thank
you,
you.
Mr. Rehan. Yes.
Okay, I agree with Kak Anissa and Kak Afiza.
Can you be louder, please? A bit strong in voice.
I'm sorry. I agree with Kak Anissa and Kak Afiza that the important asset for the organization is well-defined policy and standard, because people come and go, and the organization have a long vision and mission.
Yes,
so
yes.
it must be translated by milestones. It must be translated by value. So the policy and standard will define it, will translate it, and will be a guidance for the entire employee and entire system of the organization. I think that's
okay. Please do not be confused with the real issue regarding the asset, of an organization. What is the definition of an asset? Go back there. Asset, if you have an asset, asset, this asset must have got something is called as an asset if it has got value. Okay? Do you think that policies has got values? Do you think that standards has got values? It is. So basically, if we need policies, policy is something used, to interpret the strategy. Let's go back to strategic management. Is that okay? I'm going, and then after my explanation, you can invert, about what had been discussed, and especially something which reside in the questions. Well, I go back here. Do not be confused. So an organization has got the vision, and then mission. Mission. And then what? The next one. Hello. After vision, mission, I've got what? Objective. You are in the business school. This should be out of your mind. Objective. So after that, what do we have? After objective, we have strategy. Because this strategy is used to achieve your objective. I mean, your organization objective. But this strategy, if you look at the organogram of a company, you have your CEO here, and then you have your vice president, and then you have your department over here. You have the department. So we go back to the objective of an organization. That's becoming the incumbency of your CEO, represent the total operation and responsibility of your organization. So the objective should be over here. Should be convinced or assured that it is achieved at this level. But you have department. Let's say here you got production or manufacturing, you have human resource, you have here also IT, you have marketing department. They have also objective. They have also objective. Here's the objective. Human resource have got objective. But the strategy we have here as a grand strategy. So we need specific strategy that should be administered and executed. For example, at the marketing department. Yeah, we need strategy also, because we have grand objective, which is O0, and then we have O1, which resides at every department. So O1 is one part of the O0, or I divide mathematically. So objective of the organization is the sum up of the objective within department that should be reached. So in order to achieve this, what I call it, departmental objective, you need another strategy. If this is, I define it as 0, this is as 0, then at this level, you need another strategy, which is called S1, yeah, S2, and so on. So S1 is part of the S0. So in order to interpret or to adapt the S1 to S1, we need a transformation, what we call as policy, transformation policy. So this policy is used to, develop to adjust the strategy at the company levels to the departmental levels. So that is policy. So the policy, if that policy is identified with marketing policy, yeah, so I give it PM, yeah, and then manufacturing or human resource policy. So the relation PM is different with the PHR. This is the notation. So this is the role of a policy. Is that conceivable, ladies and gentlemen? So this is policy. Standard, so what is standard? Standard is something used to assure that the performance achieved as what is required. That is standard. Let's we go back, how to build a standard operating procedure. So a standard is included in one of the SOP or standard operating procedure. So in this case, I have to write down again here, the derivation. Are you ready with this? Are you okay? Have you noted? I'm going to to clear all the writings, yeah? Is it okay? I erase it, yeah? Okay, so we have policy, yeah, and then we have guidance, we have standard, and then we have standard operating procedure, and then we have work instruction. Yeah. So the question is, why do we need a guidance? We need a guidance, especially when we want to develop a standard operating procedure. Go back again to this organization structure. This is your CEO. This is human resource. This is marketing. This is manufacturing. This is logistic and distribution. So in this department, you need standard operating procedures. Also here. But the SOP at the human resource is different from SOP at the logistic. Yeah, but you need to develop this SOP. But based on the policy, you need a guidance to develop it. So this guidance demands, this guidance is used for developing SOP at multiple departments. But so what about standard? The standard, if you have your SOP, the standard is injected. The standard is injected in the SOP, because SOP is a kind of mechanism by which you may control the process. Okay? So then, by monitoring the execution of the standard operating procedures, you may be aware that whether a certain performance is achieved or not. Because of what? Because of the standards. So standard develops what we call it as comparing parameters. Ya, jadi, so in this case, if you have actual data, yeah, from the process that is compared to the standard. Now, so you will have variance. And this is done as you are executing the SOP, yeah, in one of the department. So I myself, I agree that person is the most valuable asset for an organization. So that's the description, the background, why I decide number one. I hope that some of you agree, and maybe some of you are not agreeing, but I can explain that related to the strategic management and also organizational operation. Any question regarding what I've explained? Yes, please. I hope you are not lost in this presentation with my explanation in this one. Yes, Mr. Azkaya. Yeah.
So I want to ask if the company has defined a standard and policy, but the executioner,
yes,
maybe the manager of marketing and etc., don't understand to execute it. What is the solution of that?
Well, that's back to the way how the management, firstly about the quality of the standard operating procedures. Yeah. Well, a procedure should be communicative, directive, and understandable, or in English we call it discernible. Understandable or discernible. And during the period of implementation, it should be monitored by the supervisors or the managers responsible for certain business process. If we look at the structure of organization, for example, if we talk about marketing standard operating procedures, then the boss or the directors or even the managers, for example, they should focus, monitors, yeah, on the execution. If you are a manager or you are a director, you should not just, plunk the SOP into the operation without assessing whether your teams or your subordinates understand on what are described in the SOP itself. Yeah, it demands for a kind of what I call it period of companionship. You need to follow the implementation maybe in 2 or 3 months, so then you know exactly whether the executor, the people, they do understand about what should they do, and then you can see that whether that SOP achieve as what is expected during the design of the SOP. SOP is a tool of governance, yeah? It is a tool of governance. Governance is the accumulation of control. So if there is deficiencies in the execution of SOP, that means there is a problem with your governance in your company. We call it corporate governance problem. Okay. I hope that it will impregnate or induce some other issues in your mind, Mr. Aska, and also the others. Any questions? Please.
Sir, I have a question again.
Yes, please.
All right. About the asset, the adequately trained staff. In this era, most people really like to go to startup.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Sometimes also people just want to open their own business.
Yes.
As a company, how to get and how to assess to get the best important assets, the best staff.
Okay, this is a matter of selection and objective of the organization. Well, indeed, if you focus on human resource, so you are the starter. That means you have to be able to select which profile of individuals that will support your business within certain period, especially at the initiating stage, yeah, in this case, yeah. So what the profile? Well, basically, first question is what is your business and what will be your strategic objective that you will reach? And then by defining what individuals that might fit and support the achievement, that will be your first start in finding the most fit staff for this, for this critical phase, yeah, Mr. Darius, yeah, because you are very critical at the first stage, okay? I think if I said that you are in the critical phase, you will get lost of your business if you are not able to contain the situation and consistently move from one situation to the others, because you will face a lot of bottlenecks, yeah, a lot of barricade in the initiating stage. That's the profile of business. Many business, suffers bankruptcy before it grows. Do you agree with me, Mr. Darius?
Yeah.
In bahasa, we call it layu sebelum berkembang, ya. Layu, just like the song for love, ya, layu. From Brewery Marantika, yeah. I idealize him in my era, yeah, brewery. A high quality singer. Any question again, back to the questions. If not, we go back to the second questions. The second questions, if you look at the curriculum vitae, so what do we focus? The questions denote for that inference that what they should documents becoming an evidence. Is that becoming a theoretical knowledge, training, practical experience, minimum educational qualification, or the combination of the four issues? CV. If you apply for a job and then you submit your CV, right? So for the candidate employer, what will be that? What benefit that he can get from your CV? What fact he will get?
Prof. Hasan, may I interrupt?
Yes, sir.
Regarding to CV, there is another document, and this is sometimes, the
Yes.
company required to job applicants. It's called by portfolio, Pak.
Okay, that means
Could you
this is we
explain,
call it practical experience, sir. The portfolio is
okay.
practical experience. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
CV
included
is not,
already. Yeah.
It's not a practical experience, or because there is some questions to me, maybe
Yes.
as you practitioners could explain
Yes.
in, let's say in how to say practice explanation, Pak.
Yeah.
Thank you, Pak Hasan.
Yes, I'm sorry. These terminologies, I mean, the term is a bit, that's not outdated, but this is more fact, that relate to the fact, what has been done by the applicant in this case. So that denotes or explain about what spectrum of experiences he had been doing in the past until the day when he applied for the job.
Okay.
As for myself, I've been in some projects. The first time I worked is for local companies, they call it Pusat Informatika, that was in 1980s. And then I worked for Philips International in Eindhoven, and also in Jakarta.
Yeah.
In Jakarta, it was in factory, but in Eindhoven, also in factory, lighting factory. And then I moved to Sony Amcol, Sony Indonesia. I was in the logistic department, materials management department. And then I moved from Sony to Hewlett Packard Indonesia. Hewlett Packard. And after that, I moved to a consultant that have international work or project. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's my background. So this is all the practical experience I have so far.
Okay.
Any questions? Ladies and gentlemen, you can have questions that relate to myself regarding my exposures. Who knows? That will give a certain opinion, and that will be an input for your plan in your future.
Yeah. One else, Pak Hasan, may I, Pak?
Yes, Mr. Hari.
Okay. Regarding to, as we know, some of our MBA students, they are fresh graduate. They have no working experience, Pak.
Okay.
And then, what about if they put some, how to say, project in the middle of MBA journey as their portfolio? Is it feasible, is it eligible or not, Pak, to convince the recruiter or the company?
I think that will be very useful, very valuable. I've been in this life maybe longer than most of the students. And, during that life, well, when I'm over 50s, I can conclude something, but there is no human can conclude overall about the life.
Yes.
One way of the conclude is the religion. Philosophy cannot do that also. So what I can conclude is get exposed to the industry as soon as possible in whatever that we are positioning ourselves or our status. I repeat again, get close or get exposed to the industry as soon as possible. Because that will generate value. So based on what you have mentioned, Mr. Hari, I think that's very valuable, very supportive to the value of the students. Because when someday he's going to be interviewed by the candidate employer, he will becoming more eloquent in defining himself about what exposure, and then that will have impact upon what? Upon the convincement effect. That's the most important.
Yes.
So do not.
Thank you, Pak.
You're most welcome, Mr. Hari. Please do not barricade ourselves for doing the theoretical. No, the life is full with practical, sir. Institution, I've been in many institutions. I've been in many level of education. This level of education is a matter of how we broaden our insight. How we build modeling in our thinking. But practicality, that's the most valuable thing that will generate remuneration for us. This is, I'm not advising, I'm just suggesting to you all.
Thank you, Pak.
Okay. Most welcome, sir.
Thank you for your clarification as the best practitioner.
I hope, yes. That's the most important. This country, Indonesia, needs a lot of practitioner, not theoretician. Do you want to have do you want to have a consultant with no practical exposures, or consultant with a lot of practical consultants? Okay.
Yes.
To be honest, Pak, a graduate with no experience will create doubtness on the client. So let's avoid that, gentlemen. And ladies,
you,
avoid that. That's reality.
This is a real statement from practitioner, but also academic with the highest qualification in the world. Okay.
Thank you. Most welcome, sir. Most welcome. That's reality, Pak. Reality. We don't develop nothing without practice. Nothing.
Exactly. That's why I want to endorse our MBA student to start their practice journey. Even though he or she is still finishing his or her MBA program, right?
Yes, indeed it is. We are not prophet. Prophet goes to the cave for revelation. But we are not prophet. Different qualification,
Okay, Prof. Hasan, please continue, Pak. Or maybe maybe other comment?
Yes, please, gentlemen, ladies. Let's warm up the session. You need to warm up the session. I hope that this session will induce us for better understanding of our objective.
Yes, that's right, Pak.
Okay, now let's proceed. Then we haven't answered the question. Let's select the questions. Sorry. Okay, so what is the answer? What is your selected number for this selected word? Document evidence. Should document evidence of, in this case.
Sir, may I?
Yes, sir.
May I answer? From my past experience, I may say that theoretical knowledge is important. Also, practical experience, you also need to include it into the CVs. And if you want to apply for a job, you of course need to what it means, to have the minimum educational qualification for the job.
Yes.
I think, but if it's about the training certificate or something like from the formal educational before, it's not really important in my own experience beforehand.
You are in engineering, right?
Yes, I'm in civil engineering.
But throughout the development of technologies, that development do not, force somebody to go back to university now, but industry demands for professional development, which somebody should not go back to university now, but you need training for that. And after the training, you should be certified as somebody who is really apt or proficient in certain technology. You understand?
Yes, that's true, sir. Yes, that's true, sir.
So training received is also an input for the employer, because I was a director, and then I recruit people for my project. I peruse the CV, and then I try to find something which is quite different from this guy, especially that will be matching with my project. That can be coming from the project, which is, similar with the project I had at that time. And secondly, from the training. Maybe this guy had not gone to a certain similar project that I had at that time, but at least the qualification or competency is already with this guy. That can be shown by certificate or training maybe. At least in this era, training is number one also. So the answer, it's obviously that we have to select E, because we need theoretical knowledge that's based on the diploma. You have the diploma, right? Or S1, yeah?
Yes.
And then that's a theoretical knowledge. Cognitive. Training, that's also something that is an asset for the guys, and the practical experience. So the combination of these three items, is very influential for somebody's profile when he's doing an application, something like that. Okay?
Yes, sir, I agree.
Because currently, I will explain about how a professional is assessed. Their values based on a standard. So this standard proficiency or competency is shown by the ownership of the certificate. This becoming a global practice at this time. This start from the IT domain about 15 to 20 years ago. I came up from IT work, to be honest. I did my S1 program or bachelor program in IT. And in IT, there are many types of qualification which demands for certain level of competency. So this is indicated by the ownership of the certificate, like in database management, programming, communication network, So it demands for level of assurance. If I'm an employer, or maybe you are my candidate employer, you will assess me whether I am fit with the job. So one of the action of my profile, my competency profile, not only the diploma I have, but also the certificate. But amplified by the training or also my diploma. So this is a kind of combination by which generate the final profile of somebody. So I will explain about it later. Well, another question. Training that maintains, enhances, or increases the proficiency of employees is considered what? So the word proficiency and enhances, will be the keyword of this question. Keyword. So initial training, continuing training, or retraining? What will be the answer?
Continuing training.
Very good. Excellent. So why? Why you select that one, Miss Anissa?
Because it's like the worker already have some skills or knowledge, but he or she needs to improve those.
Yes.
Yeah, those competencies by continuing.
So what will be the impact of continuing training for the organization and for the individual, especially for the individual?
The self-esteem, no?
Excuse me?
The self-esteem, like you previously.
Yeah, but that's the next one, self-esteem. That after that impact of training is proven, yeah? It's substantiate, it's proven. But continuing training in general, that will develop enhancement of skills. Skills enhancement, yeah? If we have, as I mentioned, if this is skills, so if we use the character S, you have skills 1 and then until skills N, and this is a bracket with expand based on this continuing training, continuous training, yeah. In the industry, do you happen to know about John Deming? John Deming is the gurus of total quality management. So John Deming says that an organization or an individual to be more competitive, whether in the industry or in the market, they should do continuous training. Yeah. So this is a part of the total quality management, which is focused on the industry, but also the industry will focus on the customer. That's the impact of doing continuing training, because that will develop enhancement on the asset, and the transitive effect is to the industry. Okay? Because everything has got its relationship. Nothing is done without any objective, yeah? The last question is, competence compares an on-place performance against. So, if somebody got the competence, that means this competence that is attached to the employee, if an employee has got the competence, so this is the employee, got the competence. So what will the competence impact, yeah, on somebody's or employee performance? What?
Standards.
Excuse me?
It's B, standards.
Okay, standard, yes. So this is a standard of performance, yeah? Standard of performance, very good. Standard of performance. Why we don't select the others like policies and procedures? The answer is here, standard performance. But why we don't select policies and procedures or training plan? Why?
Because the employee must obey to the policy and procedures. Therefore, their performance must be evaluated based on the standards.
Yes, standard of performance. For example, can you give me an example of standard performance for individual employee, for example? Are you working, Mr. Rianda?
Not, I'm an entrepreneur.
Okay. You're an entrepreneur, very good. Yes. Somebody will be the boss and you will have employees. Let's imagine that you have employees. What standard performance that you will apply or administer on your employees? Please, Mr. Rianda.
Okay, thank you. Allow me to elaborate based from my
experience. So, for example, the requirement is product standards. It is one of the guidance to where employee must match their standards.
So what?
In my case,
what will be the I mean, the description of the standard that somebody is to achieve, yeah?
For example, is the production standard for the quality of the production.
That's a bit different. You are talking two different entities. The one is on the employee and the others is the process. I'm asking for the employees, individual.
Oh, okay. Okay. Allow me to re-answer.
Okay.
Based on the standards, company has established the standards on which the employee must pass to the standards.
Okay. Yes, you don't give me a real situation, real issues.
I'm
yeah?
spaced out. sorry, I'm spaced out.
Okay. Yes. Anybody can support Mr. Rian for the questions regarding the standard that should be achieved. I think this is a prolific situation for us to discuss on these issues. Do you think so? Come on. You are still young. You should be rapacious. You know rapacious? Hungry, yeah? Hungry with the knowledge, hungry with the experience. Okay. Mr. Raihan, would you assist Mr. Yanda regarding the standard? Real standard should be achieved. Come on.
Is it individual standard, right?
Yes. Just give me the example or the sample.
Oh, sorry, let me elaborate first. I think for the standard for the individual, maybe the target or the achievement that must I'm sorry, let me explain it again. I think the achievement that the quantity of achievement that employee must be achieved.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Is it right?
That's related to the sales, for example. Yeah.
Yes.
If you are a salesman, then your boss say, "Hey, this month you have to achieve 100 units of the items to be sales, right? To be sold in this case." And then, you don't achieve it because you achieve only 60 this month. So that's 100 units is standard. Okay. Well, that is that will profile the achievement of an individual. I see many participants, but I don't look at their faces. Yeah, Mr. Hari. How many participants are today? The students?
Almost 40, Pak.
Okay, yes, that's right. My monitors can accept only some of them, yeah? Only
yes, Pak. You
20,
you must open double.
That's right. Double perspective. Right, okay. Yes, double screen. That's okay. Ladies and gentlemen, now we are proceeding with the issues on organization. Yeah. So then the involvement of personnel or employees in this case, yeah, in an organization, this denote for the value of the organization. Yeah. So the success, one of the ingredient or recipe why an organization has got the successes in the last period of operation, that one of the answers, yeah, or contributors are the personnel, yeah, of the organization. So the personnel within the organization also implies for the quality of the organization, and the structure of organization might be defined as the something that relate to the particular dimension of an organization. So the structure, and then the scope, and then what profiles of job profiles within the organization that are specific to the industry where the organization belongs. And then also deeply inside the organization is the assignment of responsibilities to the roles. So we have roles in the organization. So we have roles. So these roles, yeah, are depicted in the organizational structure. So this, the roles also described on the job profiles, yeah, which demands for qualification, as we mentioned before, experience or practical experience, yeah, and then licensing. In some other areas in the book, they call it licensing for doing certain job. So if you are doing in America, for example, even somebody working that in the plumbing, something like that, then he needs a certificate to do the plumbing. So this is license, yeah, the license. Even if you are a lawyer or a doctor, you need license to execute or to do practice. So responsibilities then relate to the job description. Within the job description, somebody will get what task, and then the function, because job description will generate, if this job description is executed, that will generate value. And then with this job description, yes?
Did you
oh, sorry.
share something?
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay.
Thank you.
Something wrong with the system. I'm sorry. Oh. I got a big problem with this camera. We go to Zoom. Okay. I couldn't find this. There's something wrong with this. Oh, okay.
Sir, while processing the screen, can I ask question?
Excuse me, I'm fixing my camera now. I cannot see it. Wait for a moment.
Okay.
Okay, because I couldn't find this one, or maybe I have to go back again. Something wrong with this. Oh, okay. Yes. Yes. Oh, we cannot do that. Yes. Okay. I'm back now. Yes. Would you proceed with your question?
Yes, sir. So previously you said that we lack of budget, and to improve the competencies, we can just pull on the worker into the assignment, right?
Yes. Okay.
So my question is it applicable to all the positions? I mean,
For what? I'm sorry. Would you?
To all the
Wait back.
positions.
Oh, okay. Well, it depends. Yes, please. Please proceed.
Yeah, I mean, for the core position, like I'm a lawyer, so for the lawyers, I think that's applicable. But for the administrative position, do you think it's also applicable for them?
Okay. Well, the answer is based on this. I'm going to draw a chart, and then this will lead us for our decision on the on effective training as in relation to the requirement. So look at this pyramid of the organization. We have the operation level in your organization. We have tactical, and we have strategic level. Because somebody from this level to go to the next level in the organization, they need a certain capabilities or skills to move higher to the organization. Well, for most of operational skill which is required, you can go to the project. Yeah. But any employees within the organization which are already in the strategic level, yeah, which are in the strategic level, I think they need, and they are obliged to do the course. So they need course or training, especially if they are here to move up there. Yeah, but to gain a vast practical experience, you can do it from the project. If you don't have, if your budget is limited, yeah, you can go, anybody can go also to the training course. But this becoming a prerequisite going to the course for those who are already in the strategic level. Okay, that's my question. Yeah, I'm sorry, my answer, Ibu Anissa. Yeah, is that perceivable? Is that understandable?
Yeah. So you say that everyone in the company should get a possibility to gain their competencies, apart from whether they are administrative position or the core business.
Okay, yes, but if you have limited budget for those operations, they are, subject to the project experience to improve their competency, project experience, this gain competency. But for those who are already in the strategic position and would like to exalt or escalate the level, they must go to the training course for enhancement or go to the higher education level. Yeah, like all of you, now you are at the postgraduate program, which is fit for strategic management position in the future. Yeah, Bu Anissa, yeah. Anything else? If you are not satisfied with my answers, you can reiterate that and tell me about still something which is still absent in this case.
Yeah. Okay. I just still confused whether the best program for the strategic, technical, and general position, because not all position can be delivered as a job assignment.
Yes, because if you are at the strategic level, you are more cognitive, you are more doing the analysis, yeah, based on the data that you get for, proposing room of decision to your top level management. Okay? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
That's why you are now at the MBA program.
Right. Yeah.
But you need experience. Again, experience. If not, they will jeer up at you. You know, jeer up. What is this guy doing? Is advising for this, but the guy got no experience. Why we study higher and higher? Why? Philosophically. Because we will do better risk management for the decision. Yeah. Risk management is something always exists in what situation or business decision. If you have extended perspective on businesses, on some issues related to your business, that means you have better capabilities in controlling the risk. Yeah. If your risk registers is very limited or poor, then your decision is highly risky. From what? From failures. If you are somebody who is assigned by your boss because you are an MBA to run the business or to support in running the business, you should be the one, not only you are a skipper, but you are the one who is designing how to mitigate the risk for that business. Because in this life, everything is based on risk. From we start opening our eyes until we sleep again, we run the business is full with risk. Yeah, we need competency that will reduce the probability of failures when we run the business. Is that correct? I hope that you have your opinion regarding that statement. Yeah. So risk management. We go back on personal management, on the relation between personal and organization. So the role of an individual or a personal in an organization is very influential. Because what? Because an employee or somebody that relates to the operation of the organization will give the most value if he is trained. Or the first criteria for this individual is whether he is qualified or not, whether he is fit for the job requirement. And then whether he is educated. I'm asking you, because you are scholars, you got a trained man, but he is less educated. You have employee, you have your subordinate, they are very technically skillful, but less educated. What will be your problem if you are a boss? So what is the problem of those who are less educated? Come on, you must think about it and then understand about this issue. Anybody can answer me? So this will expose the role of the education. Is there anybody can answer me? If you put the criteria for your candidate employee as an educated person or non-educated person. So when do you apply that? Yes, please. I like this question, please. Yes, please.
Is it related to decision-making ability?
Yes.
Maybe
that's your reason. Why you ask me again? You must answer, right?
Maybe the employee with an educated degree will lack of decision-making skill, maybe. So we can,
I think that is, I mean, not in line with the actual objective of education program. Mr. Raihan, you must be aware what you are doing now in your organization. I mean, in your MBA program. Yeah, sorry, yeah. The MBA program defines how to become a good decision maker in business. Master of business. I'm an MBA also. In the business, you will face a full of decision-making process, Mr. Raihan. Yeah, you are educated in this program. That means you have the capabilities to do decision-making. Okay? So what you have said just now is something controversial with the reality of your MBA program. Yeah, okay, yeah? You have to note that. So an educated person has got the ability to do decision-making based on what? Based on the analysis process of the options that he gets. Yeah. So the process of education gives the capabilities for a person to develop a spectrum of rationale, cognitive, use the brain to analysis. Okay, yeah? But non-educated person, maybe it's too technical. That's why the difference between the engineer and the STM guy, yeah, technical school guy, is different. Where is the difference, Mr. Raihan?
The difference between the cognitive and technical, sir?
Yes. What will be the prominent characteristic of an educated engineer rather than the School of Technic employee?
Maybe the cognitive.
I know cognitive, but in practically, what will be the indicators that he is using his cognitive capabilities in practice? What will be the situation in this case?
More thinker, maybe, sir.
Yeah, thinkers or what? In practical thinkers, I'm a thinker, but if I don't do anything for my situation, I'm not useful. You understand what I mean? If I'm a thinker, so what I can contribute to the situation? Okay, so that is the value of a thinker. So an educated engineer, he will develop a lot of solutions, yeah, and then he will lead to the optimized solution in practical situation. But the only technical guys is just doing, like, for example, if he is doing for an infrastructure like in the exploration, yeah, or refinery for a pump. Yeah, when the problem, I mean, the pump cannot boost up the oil or maybe any liquid within the pipeline environment, then this guy will just, okay, oh, this is problem only with the pump mechanic, yeah. But the engineers with educated, I mean, process previously, he will develop, he will look at the chart, he will check the environment of the pipe, and Maybe he will even contact with the supplier and find some solution that he might contribute for that solution. This is the difference between a person with education, with better education than those with the, short experience of education or limited education. So education is something which is not terminal. It is a continuous process. Yeah, that's why you are not at the MBA program. So education is very essential, yeah, for profiling a person. So this education in an organization usually is tracked, can be tracked, yeah, or that's, the training also. This is for profiling the qualification of the employee. So this should be recorded, yeah, in one, if it is a training, in the database called training record, yeah, and also including the types of the training, whether that's is trained inside the organization, specific training, or launch to the programs which is organized by, training organizer or certain training center. So for development of competency also required a kind of continuous program development, which is manifested in the training plan. Yeah. So this is done by human capital development, which is firstly then they identify the requirement, and then maybe the requirement is based on the what currently running project, yeah, and or in the next project that demands for specific qualification. So in the training methods which are used can be lecturing, or maybe using the computer-based self-study. Maybe the trainee can go and do the observation, yeah, or based on apprentice, yeah, and doing exactly to the field with the supervisors. So the objective is to develop competency, because competent personnel for an organization is the asset that may produce or can produce quality and accurate results. Like, let's be consider about the role of an operator in the shop floor in the industry, because lack of quality in this case might generate something which is called defect. Yeah, defect. If this is the production system, then the quality of the output or finished good from that system is also influenced by the quality of the operators or their competencies. So then competency is an essential ingredient within this process of manufacturing. Yeah. So in any kind of job, denotes or demand for certain competency. Yeah. And that competency should be evaluated, because there should be the impetus or reasons why competency should be reached. Yeah, I'm asking you all why competency is something which is not fixed, but competency denotes for something dynamic. Please, I need your answer for this.
Maybe allow me try to elaborate?
Yes, please, sir.
Maybe it's important. The competency is the dynamic because it follows the current situation of the company. That maybe
Yes,
the problem is changing every time. So the
that's right.
competency maybe also changing. Maybe you have to example. The example maybe you take more responsibility, or you more employee to get maybe. That's my answer. Thank you.
Well, I'm asking you about the correlation of competitiveness and competency. Competitiveness and competency. Could you help me to describe this?
Yes, I would say, sir. Maybe it more because in the field. Maybe I will take example from my experience. So
Yes.
Across the companies, for example, we take a pitching of the project. So the competencies based on our experience. So the what we call the owner of the project would be see the competencies based on our experience. So yes, the connection is the competitiveness is defined by different competencies of our competitors.
Okay, so you will say that competitiveness is denoted by the variance of competencies of your organization, right? So you will become more competitive in doing the business in the market if you have more competent people in your organization.
Yes, maybe.
So what will be the impact business-wise if you have more, or you have more competent people in your organization? What does it means in terms of technicalities?
It maybe again in my understanding and experience, it would be more. We can take more kind of.
You mean opportunities?
Opportunities, yes. The opportunities and with the based on my maybe in my experience, there will be the designer who more capability in office design or maybe in the hospitality. So the opportunities would come more.
Yes, that's
to the
right.
companies. Thank you.
I understand and I accept your premises and also your reasonings. Well, a business entity can be more competitive to cope with the market dynamism and to achieve its objective if the business entity has got variance of competencies, to capture the opportunities in the market. Okay, do you agree with me? And to be honest,
absolutely,
to be at that status, a business entity should spend certain costs. Okay, because there is no free lunch. Everybody Sometimes there is free lunch, sometimes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's proceed with something which is more focused. How is competencies indicated? What will be the indicator that a subject or an individual is a competent person? So next we go to the a topic which I hope this will be very attractive, which is identified as international certification. Well, maybe you as scholars, yeah, or even workers, you know, there is a global change at this time. This global change also have impact on the way of how a work environment change, the needs for new skill, also the communication platform, yeah, and the way how we communicate with other nations, other peoples in some part of the world. So at this time, there is a unity, we call it global citizen, yeah, global citizen. If you are good in communication and you are quite skillful technically, you can go anywhere in the world. You don't only expect the chance and opportunity in Indonesia. I think you are too scoopy. Yeah. If you just expect, oh, I can work in Indonesia. Indonesia, you will be paid by rupiah. If you go internationally, they will appreciate you as professional and paid in dollars or in the other international currency. Do you expect that, Mr. Hafiza, to be paid in international standard? Yeah. I think, as I mentioned in the preliminary part of my presentation, that if you get work, you need income, and that will bring you to a certain level of prosperity. So becoming a competent, internationally recognized, competent professional, you are, replying to the demand of the global challenges. Yeah. So that is the global challenges. We are facing global challenges. We have to shape up ourselves in this dynamic world, even at this pandemic situation. Yeah. And these dynamic changes also impact on the national changes and challenges. And then qualification, education, becoming the spearhead of the competitiveness, whether that at the country level or individual level. This is what we are expecting, as what is also mentioned by the Secretary General of the United Nations, that the Millennium Development Goals is coming. That happens in all individual countries. Yeah. Basically, he will say that all those who involved in these changes needs to develop and shape up themselves to achieve the objective. And the global objective at this time is also supported by the global changes, such as by the development and the achievement of the technologies, yeah, and then the intercultural interaction between nations. So we can see this globalization is very dynamic. It demands for two types of competencies, which is soft skills and hard skills. I think most of you or all of you do understand that what are classified as soft skill or hard skills. But in relation to the development and changes, there is what we call as paradigm shift, especially in the way of how people view the process of learning, yeah, and then how that process is exercised in the daily life, yeah. One of the sign is the paradigm shifting from teacher-centered process to the student-centered learning. That means that current situation demands for the students to explore more rather than relies on the teacher or the lecturer. If we look at the individual learning experience, so any individuals, they start with the academic knowledge process, like we have done previously. Maybe start from the any programs under the bachelor program or the next program after that, and then tries to have some others enhancement or alternative learnings, and then maybe we would like to be not only as a staff, but we would like to have management role. Then we selected the leadership learning, and then also workplace learning, and further we try to be innovative, and then we try to create and learn something through a process called creativity learning, and then learning to serve as we position ourselves higher in the organization. And then we become somebody who is really responsible for those who are working in our entity or our organization. Then we would like to be somebody who is learning to care, and we shall role ourselves as somebody have international role, or then we learn something learning across culture. But if we go back to the essence of this all is the competency. So competencies, based on the ingredients or the structure as we define by most academic in the world and psychologists, it comprises of three pillars. The first pillar is knowledge. So this knowledge is a specific technical issues come from the process of education, yeah, this knowledge, and then the skills. The skill is more on the psychomotoric process, yeah, which more on how an individuals understand and interactive with the environment where he works. Yeah, so this is a matter of skills. Also, consciousness related to the deliveries of the item or product that he delivers or services to the recipient. And this is more on quality awareness issues. And the last one is the attitude. It's the way how an individuals maintain or consistent and holds up the morals as that indicated by the ethics, responsibility, reliability, and accountability, which is also not, but least is also the integrity. So a person, maybe he is skillful and knowledgeable, but if he is not possessing the attitudes characteristic, this guy is not considered as a competent person. So these three parameters or factors is something which is indispensable or indetachable from the issue of competency. Yeah. In this, the competency scope start with the standard competency, and it goes to the professional competency certification. As we might know, in the industrial, there are some industrial certifications starting from ISO, which focus on the process, and some other industries, they adapt the standard of the ISO or other international process standard, such as the in Indonesia we have SNI standard, we have Australian standard ISO, we have ITU, and some other standards which are applied especially to escalate the quality of the organization. So if somebody is qualified, then he should be assigned for a certain job, and he will be considered successful, and by then he can be accredited as somebody competent. So qualified should be proven, and then this will lead to the predicate of a competent individual or professional. So basically, to develop a person as competent, is start from the industry with a standard, and then this standard can be achieved through training and assessment, and this will lead to the certification. American Academy provides the certificate as predicate. So basically, certificate is a predicate. A certificate is a predicate for any individual. Is a predicate. And then we proceed that an individual is to undergo or experience what they call it lifelong learning cycle. So this lifelong learning cycle will develop the spectrum of competency, which goes to the improvement. And this will create competitiveness, whether at the level of the individual or the organization where he works. So some of the competency that relate to individuals has got some root of emergence, which start from the formal education, training, and also standardized training from the certification body. So this will develop the skill in the job, and then skill or capabilities in doing the contingency management, and also the skill to transfer the knowledge to the others within the organization. So certificate of competency is the indicators that somebody has got the capabilities in certain areas of industry. So is there any questions regarding the competencies, ladies and gentlemen, before we proceed to the last session of our lecture today? Yes, Miss Meliana. It seems she's focusing and quiet. Yes. Are you losing your energy? I'm the one who is speaking. I'm not losing my energy. I'm losing. You see? We should have a lot of questions, actually. Okay. If you don't ask, I'm going to ask you.
Yeah, there is one question, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Please.
But forgive me, but it's about you, sir. I really want to know you.
Excuse me, I don't hear.
My question is about you. Is it okay? Your
About
personal.
what? About what? Sorry.
About your personal, sir.
Oh, okay, yes.
So you mentioned before you are as a Bachelor of Engineering also, and also
Yes.
an MBA student.
Yes.
In your professional field, what is it? The majority of your experience is about MBA or it's about your engineering background, sir? I just curious.
Well, yes. Thank you very much for the questions regarding myself. Well, I have to start from operational guy, yeah. And due to the course of my life and my age, and also my position in the organization, well, I need to have practical capabilities in managing the organization. But those all is based on my previous experience in the operation level. Because having the real operational level experience is something becoming the asset when we become somebody who is managing people or running a business, yeah? So I took MBA at that time because at that time I was a business development manager for BizNet, you know, BizNet.
BizNet Internet, do you mean?
Yes, I was the general manager for that.
Okay, service provider internet, right? Yeah.
Betul. Yes, not only service provider, but also we deliver services for data center services.
Okay, data center, yeah. Yes,
but we give also some solution. We becomes the solution provider for security, IT security, yeah. And as well, I need to be competent to be somebody who is able to manage people, yeah, run them, lead them to achieve our objective. Basically, I'm technically enhanced, yeah, with the technical issues during my previous career. And at this time, I'm more running some managers to run the business and also supporting the management, the board of directors in this case, to assure that the business is running well and that is, in line with the business plan, with the strategic objective of the organization. So I need to have the competencies, yeah, in how to manage a business. That's why I took MBA program. Because if you are only an engineer, it's a bit rigid. So you need to be somebody more flexible, yeah, in perceiving the business itself, yeah. Because to be honest, if you are only a technical guy, you will have a different perspective regarding the business. I was a bit angry when I brought my subordinate, who is a technical guy, and he said something in front of my prospective client, which is not conducive to my objective, to the organization objective. That's in terms of the, what I call it, sales convincement, sales convincement. If you are an engineer, you will have a different colors. But then I took MBA, I get another colors which I combine to run my responsibility in the business. Yeah. So that's the background, Mr. Aska. Yeah.
Oh, actually, this question is continuous, sir, because I also graduate from engineering background. I'm from physics engineering, sir. But if I compare to you, you have before joining MBA, you have previous working experience. But
Obvious
me,
what?
working experience before MBA is right.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
But like me, I doesn't have working experience. I continue up this MBA after I graduate. So
Okay.
in order to maximize my potential in MBA, I also recognize my my minat in organization, because when I'm in the previous campus, I'm really active on many organizations. I lead
Okay.
the organizations so that I know my potential is related to MBA. So maybe you have a message for me or for the others to maximize our
Yes,
potential
my
after
message.
graduate.
Well, my
From
message to you
yes,
and other friends here, since you are doing the MBA program, which demands for practical experience, yeah, in the business, please do as soon as possible. Involve in the business operation. That's only suggestion, not advice. If I may use the word advice, then my advice is please involve in the business as soon as possible. Yeah? Okay, that's all. Then in another 6 months, you can contact me whether what I suggest you is effective or not. Yeah, Mr. Aska, yeah? Yeah? Do not late start, Mr. Aska. How old are you now?
I'm 22, sir.
Okay, 22.
23,
Oh,
sir.
23, still very young. And you have good opportunities to learn until MBA program.
Thank you.
I was at the S1 program at your age. Because at that time it's difficult to have education, yeah? Everything now is open. If you have interest, you have something to pay, you can do everything. So don't miss the time. Start as soon as possible. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Now, yes, that's my suggestion, yeah, as a friend, good friend.
Yeah. Prof. Hasan, may I interrupt you again, Pak?
Mr. Hari, please,
Hari.
why not?
Yeah. This is talking about international networking, Pak.
Yeah.
I do agree with you that international networking is very important, Pak, to
Indeed it is, yeah.
expand and also to to upgrade our
Yes.
confidence and also capability, Pak. Based on your experience, of course, you have worked in some multinational companies and also overseas.
Yes.
In Indonesian scope, Pak, for today, what do you suggest, Pak, regarding to upgrading our international mindset first, and then also, the real experience on international scope?
Yeah, okay. There are two ways, yeah. First way is through academic relationship. I think for your program, I think please, that can be started by the lecturers or by the students. Please develop a network platform with the industry in the world. Because if you use this flag, ITB flags, yeah, which is more appreciated by the the industry in the world. Develop it, and then they will appreciate and they will create some opportunities for, the academics and also for the students in this case. That's one first way. Are you doing this already, Mr. Hari?
Yes, Pak. Of course. We already making some international networking,
very good.
Exchange professorships from overseas to Indonesia, and also sometimes we are sending our faculty members, to be visiting professor in overseas.
But that's more on on the education side, but does it open the opportunities to work or not?
Yes. Yeah, we
Okay,
also
that's very
open
good.
for, we call the sabbatical leaves. Yeah, I mean, for permanent full-time members who has worked 7 years, then he or she has a special leave, yeah, within 6 months to work as a professional employee in the company.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think 6 months is not enough. I don't know, based on your experience, but how many, let's say, how many time, for minimum time, if we are as the academia, then trying to upgrade our professional knowledge, yeah, and professional real experience in the company. How many minimum time period, Pak, based on your practice?
Well, even when I was a worker for Warner Lambert, I think you know Warner Lambert, which is now
publishing, yeah.
No, it's a pharmacy company.
Oh, pharmacy, because Lambert is also one of publishing academic.
Yeah, but that company is acquired or bought by Pfizer. Yeah. Well, I was also working in Australia under this company, but that is only 6 months also. And
okay.
Well, it depends on the objective of that kind of cooperation between your institution and the, I mean, cooperating entities, I call it.
Yeah.
And that's one, what I suggest is to develop as many as possible, that kind of relationship and cooperation, which are expected to generate values for the students, or also the academies. Representing American Academy as a president of the American Academy for Asia Pacific.
Yeah.
Well, we are open in the future. If you do make cooperation with us, then we shall provide some opportunities of jobs, but mostly in the United States or some other parts in Europe. Yeah.
Okay, Pak.
Under the coordination of American Academy.
Okay.
This message. So there is lighting in Bogor,
yeah.
Thunder.
Yeah.
And we shall convey this initiative to the board in Colorado Springs for the, opportunities on regarding the cooperation between your institution and American Academy, especially that relate to the escalation of exposures and competency of the students in this case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Pak. I really appreciate, Pak, and for sure, of course, we will, follow up, for the next real concrete cooperation, Pak.
Okay,
of
we
course,
hope so.
Yeah.
This is,
okay.
I think this will be very constructive or beneficial for the students and also for the academy.
Of course,
especially to broaden the insight regarding the international competencies.
Yes.
But as we proceed, and I'm going to discuss a bit about the international certification.
Yes, please.
And my academy, the American Academy, is one of the institution that provide standardized professional certification in the world. Then this is based on some of the background why people are taking certification, because firstly, certification is an indicator of competency, a higher competency than the holder of the certificate may get a rise on the remuneration or salary. And then with the certificate, somebody is getting more confident to select a job, because the scarcity value is indicated by the ownership of the certificate. And then also gain respect, and somebody is going to be more, capable and prove the skills. And as I mentioned previously, certification is certified professional is being chased in the world, and certificate is the mitigating risk instrument. Why it becomes the mitigating risk? Because at least an employer will get the sense or feeling of convenience when he gets somebody, or when he hires someone with certificate other than someone with no certificate, even if both of them declares for certain competency. Yeah, that's the background why certified people are more competitive in the world rather than those who are not certified. At this time, before the pandemic in Asia Pacific, there is a demand for 1.9 million project managers or project management jobs. This is a huge demand in Asia Pacific. And in the United States, there are 10 most demanding certification areas, such as in project management, business analyst, supply chain, marketing, trade certification, human resource, sales, accounting, computer network, healthcare, and some, but this is the 10 most searched certified professional in America. In the world, sorry. But in United States, there are 5 most, certificate holder that are paid most in the United States. Those are who are having the human resource certificate. Also, those who are having or holding the project management certificate, sales and marketing certificate, and also in information technology, and also finance, especially in risk management of finance. So these certified holders are those who are chased and paid higher than those in the other areas. We have empirical data in Asia Pacific, starting from the year of 2018 until this year, our expectation, then we have some 33 competency areas, starting from project management until technology and process compliance. The highest one, starting from 2018, the demand is in project management certification and human resource. Also, digital marketing and quality management. And the highest demand is in information and technology. But in reality, in the pandemic areas, there's a drop of demand in 2020 and 2021. But now it's starting to escalate, yeah, regarding the demand of certified personnel in the world. Is there any question, please? This is quite interesting, I think, regarding the certification. So, yes. Any questions?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yes.
My question is that when we want to get the certification, should we know what our skill first to get the certification, or should we check of what kind of company needs before we take the certification?
Okay. Well, the third question is, I think, the most effective. The first, what is the need of, firstly, in your organization? Do they appreciate certified employee? Yeah. Secondly, you will also assess for your future career, Mr. Darius, what will be in the future. having a certificate, it seems like you are enhancing your shares. You are having more shares for your future and for your career. Let's say this time you don't have project management certificate, even you are not in the business program. Or maybe you think, hey, I want to be somebody specialized in the strategic business. Then there is a certificate in the area competency of strategic business analyst. Then you might take that to enhance your spectrum of competencies, and that will prove that you are a professional in strategic business. So you select strategic business certificate. In American Academy, the name of the certificate is CSBA, Certified Strategic Business Analyst, which is very valuable in the world. So if you got MBA and then enhanced with CSBA, that will be a international passport for you to go anywhere in the world, because you will be internationally recognized. You speak English, and then you are quite versatile to deliver notion and ideas for your next companies. So they will get you as soon as they know you in this case. And then that will move you to the other place of this globe. Yeah, Mr. Darius, that will be the criteria to select a certificate. Certificate is an enhancement for our profession. And that really gives you the value. At this time, in United States and other developed countries, they don't ask you mainly on your diploma, except you will be a researcher. If you are a researcher, they will say, hey, you are a PhD or not?
Yes, that's right, sir.
If you are a professional in the business and operation, they will not ask you. They will ask you what certificate you get, sir. Especially in IT. Yeah?
Yes.
So please don't miss this time. If you get older and older, you get certificate, you will miss the chance in the market of job. Yeah?
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm not inducing you, but this is reality. Mr. Hari asked me to come in this room to bring my ideas and my experience. I tell you the truth and reality. Our difference is about 30 years or 40 years old. 30 years old, lah, maybe, yeah? 30 years. But I feel myself is 35 years.
Yes, Pak. Yes, right, Pak.
It depends how you maintain your casing. So certificate, do not miss it. I'm, as an older brother, tells you, do not miss it at this time. It is the age of certification.
Yes, I do agree with you, Pak.
Okay. I'm not boasting in reality. Yeah. Okay, let's proceed again. Yeah. Any questions?
Pak Hasan, we still have 10 minutes, Pak.
Okay, don't worry. This is my boss, Professor George.
Yeah.
He is the head of scholars at the White House. And he is also the, the lead assistant of late President Trump, Donald Trump. Yeah. Before we conclude this session, I'm going to display or maybe show you a short film, okay? So wait for a while. I'm trying to prepare that about American Academy. We have about 176 chapters in the world, and the one which is very active is India. India is very active. India chapter, yeah. Okay. Okay, can you see the picture? I mean,
Yeah.
okay,
They can see
and
the
then
video,
please,
Pak.
yes, and also now I want to start, and then also the sound. Yeah, I hope that you can also hear the sound. Okay, and again, I would like, if I still time, then I will show you. Okay, another one. Okay, yes, this is about master something which is in the area of project management. I mean, the training was done in Middle East.